Indian chess prodigy 14-year-old chess grandmaster Rameshbabu Praggnanandhaa wins 2019 World Youth Chess Championships under 18. Despite the fact that Praggnanandhaa is still 14, he has opted to play in the under 18 category and still wins the tournament confidently. Congratulations to the rising talent and his fans, and let's wish him new victorious performances. Armenian chess players Shan Sargsyan and Arthur Davtyan took the second and third prizes respectively. Congratulations to them as well. Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video let's take a look at a game played by Praggnanandhaa, which was played in round 2 against Polish chess player Antoni Kozak. But before starting our game, make sure that you are subscribed in order not to miss my future uploads. In this game, Praggnanandhaa was playing with white pieces and he opened up with knight f3. Kozak responded with knight f6, g3 c5, bishop g2, knight c6, white castles kingside, e5, e4, bishop e7, d3, black castles kingside, and knight c3. If we have a look at the board, looks like that with a transposition of moves we reached a position which can also arise in closed Sicilian. Here Kozak played d6, knight d5, we see the exchange of knights on d5, knight d4, and knight d2. White is keeping alive his knight. At any moment he can kick away this knight from d4. Bishop g5, a4, preventing any advancement on the queen side, and maybe in some cases White can even put his knight on c4, who knows. b6 by Kozak, and using the vulnerability of Black's dark squared bishop, Praggnanandhaa goes for f4 move, which is allowing him to open up the f file and create attacking chances. After h6 we have bishop takes f4 and then the exchange of dark squared bishops on f4. White managed to activate his rook as well, put his knight on a central square, and all in all White has a very promising attacking position. Knight f5 by Kozak, queen d2, knight d7, and as we have reached the critical position, please pause the video and try to find the best move for White. Ready? In here, Praggnanandhaa made a very staggering move, and to be honest guys, I really adore this rook sacrifice. Rook f6 is on the board. Now, accepting the rook sacrifice can be very dangerous for Black because of this queen takes h6 move with a direct mating threat. And if knight takes d5 then c4 in order to kick away the defender, and Black can actually prolong his resistance by giving back the exchange, but with this destroyed king side Black has little chances of saving the game. That's why after rook f6 we have knight f5. And by the way, I have to tell you that after rook f6 the threats are rook takes h6 or rook takes d6. In our game we have knight f5 by Kozak and g4. Finally, Black accepted the rook sacrifice and we have g takes f5. So by going for this bold exchange sacrifice, Praggnanandhaa managed to break into pieces Black's king side, make it vulnerable, and by relying on that fact he will now organize his attack. King g7 protecting the pawn on h6, knight g3. Well, this looks slightly passive. The engine actually suggests queen f4 move, and then switching the rook into the attack from the third rank. But in our game we have knight g3, which is like blocking the third rank, and actually Praggnanandhaa is choosing a different strategy. King h1, rook g8, queen f2, rook b8, rook e1, and rook takes g3, which is a very strange move. Well, by giving back the exchange, Black is getting rid of White's attacking piece, but there was no need for it. Instead, after playing rook b8, it would have been logical to go for b5 advancement. But in our game, after rook e1, we have rook takes g3, h takes g3 by Praggnanandhaa. He managed to open up the h file as well, and later we'll use that fact. Rook b7. Meanwhile, from the 7th rank, Black is switching into the game his rook, but now White's rook is on an attacking square. Rook g4, rook e5, bishop e4, White is strengthening his pawns, bishop b7, and then we have c4, bishop c8. All black can do is to make waiting moves. I really like bishop e4 followed by c4. White's position is super solid and there is nothing black can do. Meanwhile, Praggnanandhaa is intensifying the pressure and is making his position stronger. King g2, bishop d7, b3, protecting the pawn on a4, queen h8, rook h4, king g7, rook h3, and king f8, which is allowing white to win the game without meeting any obstacles. Instead, it was better to go for h5 move and offer the exchange of queens, despite the fact that in this case, again, black is losing his h-pawn, but is doing it in the cost of exchanging the queens, and in this case, black can fight for a draw. Though still, that's a very difficult task. By the way, I have to tell you that after rook h3, if black acquires a waiting strategy, then here is one of the possible ways how white can achieve a win. g5 breakthrough is coming at some point, and then again, white is winning. Let's go back, but in our game after rook h3, we have king f8, and Praggnanandhaa simply munched the pawn on h6. Queen g7, rook h5, king e7, queen h4. The queen is coming to support the rook in order to penetrate the 8th rank. Meanwhile, black is making waiting moves, but first, Praggnanandhaa is bringing his king on f4 square, not allowing any possible queen g5 moves after rook h8. a6, rook h7, queen g8, and after rook h8, queen g7, black resigned because this rook is actually penetrating and just no way out without meeting any obstacles. This rook can start munching black's queenside pawns. If bishop d7, then rook b8, and yes, and then rook a8 is coming. This is going to be an easy win. That's why after queen g7 on move 40, black resigned. Well, this was just a brilliant game by Praggnanandhaa. First, that rook sacrifice was just magnificent. Also, this king walk was very instructive, not allowing any queen g5 moves. This is an Alpha Zero style game, you know, bringing the king on f4 in the closed positions. Just a magnificent game by the young talent. Well, in the end, let's also solve a chess puzzle where the task is to find a winning line for white. It's white to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. Feel free to check them out as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.